Just say your truth. You just hold it up and speak. Hold it close to your mouth, though, so everyone can hear. This is Kiana Miller. Go ahead and just say your name so the reporter has it.
My name is Kiana Miller, and I'm here as a participant, as a part of the Black Lives Matter. First, I would like to thank Haley Shelton for starting this Black Lives Matter and showing that there is injustice everywhere, including Macomb, Illinois. I would also like to thank everyone else who has a hand in the growth of injustice for people who really need it. So I have my share of run-ins with the law here in Macomb countless of times while going to school here. I became a target of McDonough County Police Department. Long story short, I have a history of mental health problems and attempts of suicide. When my best friend passed away February 11, 2012, and my little brother passed away 35 days after that on March 16, 2012, I didn't breathe properly and I started to self-medicate with alcohol and pills, which led to a suicide attempt. I was not coherent for the first 4 days of being in jail, but during that time, Officer May came into my cell and tried to bribe me to work for him and help him set people up, including my brother. I denied, and I told my public defender at the time, and nothing was done. While Officer Mays was on the stand, he gave me this book that would kill me. If books could kill, I would be dead. I'm so terrified, and so is my aunt, to where she said something in the courtroom during the trial, and nothing was done. I pled to the judge to give me rehab, and to my public defender at the time, and their decision for me was prison for 5 years for my first time ever getting in trouble. When I was released in 2017, I came back to Macomb and I was harassed by the police anytime a residential burglary happened. They would ask me questions and then they said it fit my MO. I moved away for a little bit, and I ended up coming back to Macomb to be around my family because I was pregnant. When I came back to Macomb, one day I was walking to the store to meet a friend, and I ran across Officer Mays, and he stopped me and asked if I've been in trouble, and I told him no, I'm pregnant, and I have changed. He laughed and then said, "Congratulations, is it a boy or a girl?" And I told him it was a boy, and he laughed and he said, "I can't wait to arrest your son." My heart dropped to the ground, and I told him to have a good day, and I walked away with my eyes filled with tears. On March 10th, an incident occurred where I had a verbal altercation with a lady who tried to run me and my son over twice with her vehicle. I tried to do the right thing and called the police and put harassment charges on her. Only one officer came to make a report. I called several times prior to March 10th, and no one answered the phone. They were justified as she didn't see me walking. Remind you, she was laughing as she was doing it. So I'm completely terrified of my life and my son's life here in Macomb. Not just of the residents, but the police. During this incident with the lady, she had threatened to run me and my son over again, and I lost my temper just a little bit, but not too much, and I picked up a sanitized bottle and chucked it in her direction, and it never touched her. She went to the back of the store and called the police, and they came 3 cars deep. Officer Durridge stated to me that he knows all about me and my brother, and he's only been in MPD for about a year or so. And when I got in trouble was in 2012. So he came out the store after getting her story and said, and I quote, "Good news, she's not pressing charges, but unfortunately I have to arrest you for battery." He didn't put my seatbelt on or attempt to do so. Once I received the police report, Officer Durich lied all in his report. He said I denied him putting my seatbelt on, which was a lie. He lied and said that she was pressing charges, but told me that she wasn't. And he said he watched the video of the incident at the police station, and he lied. He never came out the store with the DVD, and he didn't watch anything because he was in my face asking questions the whole time, and then he left the building the same way we came in. So yes, I'm terrified for my life and my son's life by the citizens and the police. And ever since I've been arrested, before I even had my son, I've been having this reoccurring dream that the police runs into my house and kills me and my son. And I'm terrified. I'm scared. I'm outraged. I'm peed off. I'm sad. I'm hurt. I'm confused. I am to the point where I don't want to be in America. And some days I wish I was a whole nother color just so I can get a better chance at life. Thank you guys for listening to my story.
It's okay, take your time. Kiana, can you talk a little bit about, if you're up to it? Tell you what, let me take a break. Are you up to talking a little bit about the manager of that store and his statement? Okay, go ahead.
Later on, after the incident, I ran into the manager of the Circle K gas station at Walmart, and he told me he had to do his own investigation to see if he had to ban me from the store or not. And he asked the lady if she was ever hit with the bottle, and she told him no, she just likes making my life a living hell. And so he said that he's not going to ban me from the store, but the police and the state's attorney is trying to lock me up for 365 days because of my background. And it's not fair at all. It's not fair at all.
It's not fair.
I have other witnesses saying that they've heard this lady threaten to run me and my son over countless of times. I've tried to call the police. They don't answer the phone. They dismiss me, but if it's me on the other end, they're there, quick, fast, in a hurry, trying to arrest me. And I really don't know what to do.
Would you talk about the case that was dismissed against you when you had red hair?
Oh. 1 year here going to Western, red hair was in for everybody. Blacks, whites, everything. Red hair was in. So I had red hair one day, and I lived right back here on this one way, and I pulled out my driveway to go to the gas station, and I didn't turn my turn signal on because it's only one way you can go. And I get to a corner, and my car started idling, and the police officer there, so I try to wave him to go past, and he didn't. He stayed, and he got behind me, and then he pulled me over and said that my license was suspended, and he took me to jail. And while I was in there talking to one of the jailers, he was complimenting me on my hair, and the officer said that the only reason why I pulled her over is because black people are not supposed to have red hair. So the jailer told me to tell my public defender that, and he wrote up a statement because he said wrong is wrong, and they end up dismissing that case, but it still shows in my background. So I've been having problems with the home police department for years. I don't leave my house unless it's something important, like now I'm outside, but after this I'm going straight back in the house because I'm that terrified. I don't want to go to the bars and relax, or I don't want to do anything but stay in the house because I'm so terrified for my life and my son's life. Like, he's only 1 year old and the police is already threatening to arrest him. He hasn't even had a chance in life yet, and they want to arrest him. I don't want to be here in Macomb. I don't even want to be in the state. because how corrupt it is, and something needs to be done. And I'm willing to tell my story over and over until this is done. Any more questions?
With the Black Lives Matter protests going on and police coming to the protests going on, have you seen any improvement so far with the police department?
No. I see cover-ups. Just them just being there to make it look like they're trying to do better, but they're not. They're not at all. But I don't know who should we turn to when the people that's supposed to be there to protect us are the same ones bullying us and killing us, and there's no resolution at all. They're not trying. They're just trying to cover up everything.
And there was a press conference the other day at City Hall. They signed the 10 shared principles. I'm not sure if you heard about that, but it placed an emphasis on protecting life between the 6 police department agencies in the area. Do you feel like that'll help relations between the community and the police?
No. The only way that's going to help that situation is if they get rid of those that are abusing their power. That's the only way they're going to get ready to get the community to
Right on.
with them and become willing to be able to stand next to them and be proud. That is the only way, and they're not doing that at all.
Did that officer who arrested you for red hair, and he admitted it, did he ever get disciplined or apologize?
He never apologized, but I haven't seen him either. So I don't know if he transferred or moved, or I don't know what happened, but no, I've never received an apology from any police officer that's came in contact with me wrongly. Not even Officer Mays when he slammed me on the ground a couple times.
Can you talk a little bit about the abuse from Officer May? And because we have many, many complaints about this.
Well, Officer Mays used to call me at 3 o'clock in the morning from his cell phone to my cell phone, and I didn't even know how he got it. And he would be trying to intimidate me and say that he's going to get me, he's going to get me. If I don't work for him, he's going to make sure my life is not good. I will see him in different places. He'll give me an evil look, like he really wants to kill me. And I believe if I stay here any longer, that's exactly what's going to happen. And I don't want it to happen. I have so much more to live for. I have so much more to offer. But they go off my path of a mistake that I made under the influence of me trying to kill myself.
Mm-hmm. While you were distraught and grieving from 2 major deaths, while also living with PTSD, and were you given any mental health assistance whatsoever following that suicide attempt?
No, not by nobody of power tried to help. I had to do it all on my own. I am talking to a therapist now, and it has been giving me peace of mind lately. But she hears it all, cuss words and all. But everything that happened for me good lately, I've been doing it on my own or with the help of other people. But as far as the city leaders, no, they're not trying to help anyone of color. If you don't have assets in Macomb, the police is not there to protect and serve you. You don't have any rights to anything, you don't own anything, you don't have money, you're not wealthy, they're not there for you. And they're going to try to screw us over any way they can. And they have been, and I'm tired of it.
Do you remember how old you were when Officer May first started contacting you in the middle of the night, disrupting your sleep?
I was 22. And I was a sophomore at Western, going to school for political science and college at the same time. And my whole career is done and over with once I went to prison. They suspended my license and then they revoked it. After they told me if I go to prison, I won't have to worry about fines or anything like that. And then I get out and I have a $10,000 fine. And they expect me to pay it every month, but I can't get a job. Nobody will hire me because of my past. And I don't know, man. I'm tired. I'm tired. I don't want this to happen to nobody else, but it has been happening. And since I've been speaking out and speaking to other people, they've been slowly trying to come into the light and let me know this has been going on for a while and something needs to change.
There was one thing about that about the red hair, and they arrested you claiming that your license was suspended. Was it actually suspended at that time?
Apparently it was. That
Okay.
day I was supposed to go and pay my reinstatement or my insurance to keep it going, which I was going to go after I went to the gas station,
Right.
but they got me before I could go. So the whole time I was sitting in the jail, it collapsed. And then that's when my license was suspended. So before he pulled me over, it wasn't. But it happened when I was in the jail. And when they ran it again, that's when they said, oh, it's suspended.
After Officer May made that comment to you about wanting to lock up your unborn child, who did you tell that to afterward?
I told it to my aunt. I told it to the ladies that I went to go visit at the store. I went to one of the meetings at the church, at Mount Calvary Church, and I stood up and I told them there, but nothing's ever happened since then. I mean, if it was them and the officer said that to their kids, they would do something, but it's me, I have a background, and I'm black. They're not doing anything about it. It's terrible. It's so terrible.
So they're trying to charge you with aggravated battery now, or
Right
just
now
battery?
It's battery, but I talked to my public defender, and he said if they lower it, it'll either be assault or attempted battery.
Even though nobody was actually hurt, this woman had already threatened your life and tried to drive, or at least scared you by driving toward you and your son multiple times. And the person in there who's the witness and the manager said that he understood why you were angry. And you are a person with PTSD whose life had been threatened and child had been threatened. And you didn't throw that and break it over their head the way that the news article read the next day, because they took it from the report, which wasn't accurate.
Right. The news report said that I cracked her over her head with a glass bottle of bleach. First of all, bleach doesn't come in a glass bottle. Second of all, none of that ever happened. So
An ambulance would have been called, probably.
With the state's attorney, before I got my public defender to try to get it dropped, the state's attorney clearly kept telling me the only reason why they want me to go to jail is because of my criminal history.
Even
That's the
though
only reason. They want me to go to jail because of my criminal history, as if nobody can change.
after your suicide attempt, did they take you right from catching you to jail, or did they get you an evaluation at MDH for your mental health issues? So you didn't even get that basic health care need. Nope.
And I know they can smell the liquor coming out my voice, because I can smell it. And they know I wasn't coherent, because if they looked in my eyes, which they did, and shined a light, my eyes wasn't even staying still.
Right.
But they didn't try to do anything at all. They wouldn't take me to the hospital. They wouldn't get tests done to see if I was under the influence. Nothing. They just automatically said, "We got you. You're going to prison."
Anything else? Thank you so much for your courage. I'm so sorry for all that's happened to you. And we're going to point out that because it's not safe for her to get a ride, and she, of course, does not have a vehicle and cannot get her license back currently, she had to walk all the way here in the heat with her baby son. And she knows she's at risk to come up here and tell this, but this may save someone else from going through the same thing. So I'd like to commend you, and your little boy's been wonderful. He keeps looking up at mommy. He's happy, We're so sorry. Thank you for being here. Is there anything else you want people to know, especially our community leaders who might be watching this someday?
If you're going to do something, stop talking and actually do it. Don't talk the talk and not walk the walk. Actions speak louder than words. You can say a million things, but if your actions don't line up to what you're saying, it's invalid. So start walking the walk. If you want us to trust you and come to you, then show us a reason to. If not, get out of your position and let somebody else who is going to do it.
Oh, yes. Great job. Thank you so much for being here. Let's let you go so you can get out of this heat and get him home.